Hello, hello. It's Wednesday, my crew. How's it going? It's been a minute. Welcome back. I know our last stream was Thursday. It's now Wednesday, the following week. So sorry about that. But I had a great weekend. Went to a music festival, outdoor music festival nearby. Free outdoor music festival nearby. It was great. Saw some incredible people. Real fun. Favorite event of the year. But yeah, we're back. Working. Working on a refactor. When are we not? We're working on a block validation system. We're laying some groundwork for that. Hey, Ran and Journey. Welcome aboard. Thanks for beaming back up here. Subscribe for 8 months on an 8-month streak. Thank you so much. How are you doing? How have you been? Also officially joined the solo development Halloween Jam number 9. I think I'm going to do this one. I think we're doing it. It's October 24th through 27th, so it's a 72-hour jam over a weekend, our favorite kind. This one's a small jam. It's put on by Practical NPC and the solo development community, like Symbol 24 and others. I don't know Draman, but I do know Practical and Symbol. Starts in 16 days. This one's going to be super chill. It's a spooky little Halloween jam. Halloween is the best. Yeah, the thing that I'm excited about, the rules. Solo devs only. Love that. Favorite thing. Pre-made assets. So we're just going to use free assets from like Itch and stuff. Like fun, like Halloween assets, right? That's going to be awesome. Like just spooky music, great visuals. Don't have to do any of it. No AI generated assets, which is great. We don't love those. Game engines, obviously we use Godot. We're gonna use, let me see if I can find it. We're gonna use a version of Mac's gameplay template. It's like a game jam template. We're gonna use this. I'll drop a link to it. Mac says they're coming out with a new version of it this month. And it's really just a great little, it's a game template for 4.5 or anything including and above 4.3. It's got a main menu, options menu, pause menu, credits, scene loader, extra tools, and an example game scene. They're coming out with a new version of this. I don't know if it's going to have additional features or not. But I've been trying to work on one of these for myself. Haven't spent any time on it. We added our first thing to it after our last jam, after down to jam number 2. When we did Bare Necessity. I pulled one system out of Bare Necessity that I like, which is a visual way of drawing pathfinding networks. I've been very busy and tired lately. Overall doing pretty good. Yeah, that I feel like that describes a lot of us right now. Busy, tired, but otherwise okay. And I guess that's, the best we can hope for sometimes. Yeah, I'm excited to try this. I think it'll it'll take a lot of pressure off me during the jam, and it might also probably inform what I would want in my own template. I have a template project. Like I said, I don't contribute to it very much, but I've got it. We added one thing, which is like very isometric. So ours is disk, the Digital Iliad standardized code. So we can hit the disk when we need to, when we're doing Ludum Dare or whatever. The idea is we have general utility code here, so I don't have to rewrite things all the time. So I would like to spend more time on that, and I think this will be a nice opportunity to learn more about what I would want from that kind of a thing and what I find actually useful. Because I would love to not spend the last 6 hours of the jam building the UI, which I think is what I did for mini delivery. I should honestly just probably try copying over some of the mini delivery menu stuff into my template. It's kind of the only jam game I've made so far that has an options menu and credits and stuff. Rhiannon Journey, it'll definitely make sense for you to have your own because of all the isometric stuff you do. But you think I'm trying to swap the second and first person when I read these, and I don't always succeed. So you think that I'm doing it right, starting with another starter kit and then pull things out into your own. Yeah, I won't pull them out because I'm not going to take it from Mac, but I think it'll show where the value is and that sort of thing. And yeah, having a isometric version of it will be definitely helpful because I'm a broken person and it seems to be the only kind of thing I can do. Yeah, just pull ideas. Yeah. I kind of knew that's how my template was going to get built. Was I would do a game jam and I'd be like, oh, that system was a pain in the ass to make. And I kind of like what I came up with, but I would love to never have to do it again. So let's pull it out from that game jam and put it in. And that's great. The only problem is my main project can't be used that way right now because it's all the main project stuff is written in C#. Same deal with my ECS. I can't just have access to an ECS-like thing. Not that you'd want to, but it's all C#. Okay, so what are we actually doing? Hey, smooth into second. Oh, look at you with your clips leader badge. Leading the clips. Theoretically, could you use your current engine here and try to quickly make something based on it? I don't think so because the last time we did Ludum Dare, I did my Tetramino mining company little game that was supposed to be it was an isometric kind of little Tetris style mining game, and that really needed to have the intermediate layer between the tile map and like some kind of like the ECS, but really just some kind of intermediary between the objects and the tile map. Hey, Diginanigans. And yeah, I really needed to have that code because during the Ludum Dare, I was like, can I rewrite this whole thing in Godot in GDScript in 24 hours? And the answer was no. So yeah, someday we might be able to move some of that stuff over and take advantage of it. But not this day. So we're going to work on the invalid block tile mask. This is going to be like an overlay that when you place blocks, it will mask them like, I don't know, red, semi-transparent red or something. It'll mask them in a way like another overlay, like a selection overlay. But it'll just let you know that this block cannot be accepted. So if you save, it'll be fine. It'll save so you can like have in progress stuff. But if you try to quote unquote publish your construction or something, or like go into play mode or something like that, to try it out, to test it, it'll block that. So that'll help a lot. It'll make it a lot easier for the simulation to know that it's always going to be in a valid state when we get to it. Yeah, I think I like having, all of the game jams be written in GDScript and the main project just being in C#. The separation is nice. It gives me, I learn a lot more about the engine when I do a game jam than when I work on my main project because we're engaging with such a selective portion of it. Anyway, so we're working on this invalid block mask tile, or in a block tile mask thing. There's a number of impediments that we found out about last time, which was like, if we want the stack of systems that run when you commit a change to a block construction, like when you place something down and you're like, this is here now, I've moved it, or I've added it, or I've removed it, or whatever. When you actually commit one of those changes, which is generally when you let up off the mouse, so you can do like click drag stuff and build stuff out. When you actually commit this change, it runs a sync. So it has a kind of a double buffer between what I call the settled blocks and the preview blocks. The preview blocks is what you see because it includes changes you're making that you haven't committed yet. And then the settled blocks is like what's actually going to get written out and saved. So we have some systems that run during that sync. And the way it used to work, well, the way it worked before is everything would just operate directly on the preview blocks. And it's because we didn't have a process to sync back from the settled blocks to the preview blocks, really. So like you could put stuff in and save it, but you couldn't really get anything back. And I want these tasks, these two different sets of tasks. Like I want the sync to run on a separate, or I want these systems that run during a sync to run on a separate task. But that means they need their own, copy of the memory to work on. And I want that to be the settled blocks, like the settled version of it. So that way you can continue to make visual changes in the preview layer while everything is getting synced through, so that visually it's very fast. Because the slow stuff are things like the flood fill system or this block validation system we're going to write. Those are the slow passes. So those need to be on a different task, quote unquote task. They need to be on another thread. So they're going to take more than a frame generally. And so we need to do this double buffering. And part of that is we are splitting up this block struct that previously held on to all the data about the block. So there it has the block forms. Right now it has the block rooms. There's additional data that we are planning to add, like what we're calling the block faces, which is a description of like kind of the topology of the block for the purpose of knowing whether a block forms a seal on like a given corners or whatever. And so I'm kind of splitting this up from being one monolithic thing that's just stored in a buffer to each of the components being stored in their own buffer, so that it's like if you just want to operate on the forms, you can just operate on the forms. If you want to just operate on the rooms, you can just operate on the rooms. And that's good. That's very good, because then we could be operating on the forms in the preview blocks and then setting the rooms in another. So it basically just gives us more options in terms of parallelizing some of the processing if we actually split these up to be separate things and stored separately. So that's what we're doing. I've made a new struct that I just call block forms, which is just the forms part as the one value of the struct. And that's nice because that lets you get this like static implicit operator. Like you can just cast back and forth really easily. I actually think I want to change some of the parts here. No, I think I'm okay with this. So we've got some of the block specific behavior that we put in here. Like what happens when you try to erase a block form? Does it can have knock-on effects, because like if you remove the wall or the floor, then you also have to remove the door or something like that. So this handles that logic. The rest of the time it kind of just acts very simply, kind of like a bit flag thing, because that's kind of what it's like under the hood. I've been writing this new implementation in parallel just so we don't break everything, because I hate breaking everything. I'm going to switch the radio station. I hate breaking everything, but we're going to break everything right now. So let's go. Let's do it. I think it's time. I've kind of constructed this parallel implementation, and now we just need to kick the legs out under the other one and swap it out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to swap this block struct that contains multiple fields and replace it for a system that stores each field separately in its own buffer. Kind of like their components, but not exactly like their components. The way in which they're not like components is they're being stored in a 3D buffer. So their position in 3D space is implicitly recorded in the index of their value in the buffer. It makes it really easy and cheap to store a lot of stuff, especially when the rest of the stuff we're storing about the blocks right now happen to just be bit flags. Mostly different sets of bit flags. So one thing I need to do is I basically need to talk about kick the legs out. We used to have a bunch of different variants of each of these functions, like for erasing block functions. We had a bunch of different, you can see it's kind of stupid how many erase block whatever's functions we have. I'm simplifying the new one to just be 2 different kinds. We had a bunch of different ones that were like erase blocks in, erase all blocks within bounds, erase, yeah, look at how many different versions I have of the same thing. It could be like erase new active blocks, or erase blocks along margins, you know, whatever. So we have all these different versions. I've decided to go down to a very small set of basic functions, and then we just pass in different parameters. So instead of having a different version for merging blocks along margins, you just modify the bounds, because all you're doing is modifying the bounds anyway to get the margins. So we'll just do that when we pass in and call the function. So you'll just... It's going to wildly simplify the number of functions we have rather than having a different function for like each interpretation or each variation. We'll just call the function a little differently. And we have a little overloading so that we can like pass in a list instead of passing in a bounding box. Because it's like we're just going to get a list out of the bounding box anyway. So if we need to manipulate the bounding box, we can either just pass in a manipulated bounding box if it makes sense, but if we're trying to get like a non-overlapping set of coordinates or something like that from like 2 bounding boxes, it makes sense to just pass in the list of what that created, what that overlap generated. So what we're going to do, all of these functions are used in like 1 or 2 places, so we're just going to start kicking them out and replacing them is essentially what we're doing. I also moved some of the place blocks logic in here. So we actually need to start using this. This is the first thing we're going to do. So we can say if bounds overlap, if the boundaries overlap this, and active block tool is not equal to block empty. We're gonna have to change that because this block tool being a block is gonna be a problem at the moment. We're gonna replace all of this. I think we're going to replace all of this. Yeah, we're going to have to change the buffers. Yeah, we're changing a bunch of stuff right now. Nobody asked me to demo the tool for a second. All right, we don't do the reveal. Okay, so we can do that somewhere else, I think. Let me see. Do we want to just do it here? Reveal inactive blocks. I haven't rewritten that one yet, so let's pause on that. This one I do want to use. I don't know if I love just hard coding in. I guess we do. Right now we're using some member variables here, which I guess is fine. I don't actually care. So we're gonna need to rewrite that buffer to store something different. Hey, no, Joel. Thanks for the stretch. Yeah, I actually hurt my leg. It's like somewhere between. It's like very upper leg. It's like almost my back. I like pulled something. So we gotta be careful when we're stretching. What did I do? I have no idea. Going to a weekend outdoor music festival did not help. I will say that. How have you been? Your new tool looks super awesome. You were sharing this and it looks so awesome. This looks so great. You have reactive backdrop. Oh, Diginanigan said something. The more you're getting into it, you're starting to really enjoy working with C# and Godot. You find yourself going back and refactoring a lot as a learn, but starting to get into a good flow with things. Oh, that's cool. How much, yeah, I really want to mess around with this more. Super cool. So you can make reactive, like, live layered backgrounds. Super cool. Ooh, I like that mouse motion. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, look at that motion as I just mouse around the scene. Planning to improve it over time when you use it more. This is so cool already. The interface is great. There's so many options. So you've got platforms on like 3 or 4 on a bunch of different layers, and you got clouds on a bunch of different layers. And this looks like it's a hook into, oh man, there's like hooks into like the way it appears, the way it's spawned, what happens when you scroll or parallax. The liveliness of this is so cool. It's so slick. And you can just set this always gets set up as like a web source or browser source. That's awesome. Dark example. Oh. This is so cool. Think of all the ways you could like hook into this. That's so great. Yeah, super cool. I want to try that. Yeah, you can basically use this directly in Wallpaper Engine as a desktop background. Oh, that's awesome. It breaks if it's a different resolution. Oh no. That's cool, because it sounds like you're mostly using it in on your own systems, right? Or like, yeah. This is something you'd set up for your own desktop environment or whatever, for streaming or something, just hanging out. That's cool. All right, so I've replaced that in there. It's upset about the nature of preview blocks. I don't really want to change that yet because that's going to like everything is going to yell at me. I want to go back to my original plan of just removing some of these older function variants and funneling everything back into. So erase blocks in. Yeah. Do I really want a version of this function that's like doesn't take a parameter? So if block eraser mode, erase block forms, preview blocks, active block tool. Yeah, that's going to complain because active block tool is not a block. So I can change that by saying active block tool.form for now. That don't work. Oh, that is implicitly convertible, so that's a little weird. We can say block.forms, or we can say block forms. And explicitly convert it? No. Oh, it's the buffer. It's the buffer. Never mind. Complaining about the buffer. Right. That's not going to change. Yeah, this is a pretty big refactor. Erase all blocks with inbounds. Nobody uses this, so I don't care. Nobody uses any of these, so I don't care about them. Or this one. I think I swapped most of those over already, which is good. This is the big one. This is like what happens when you try to place a block. It like needs to look at what kind of blocks you're placing and do some pretty different behavior. Kind of just to support our I can draw a room sort of thing. So here's what I was talking about, where I can shrink the bounds and pass in that. I can manipulate the bounds and pass in the manipulated version of the bounds, or I can just get get a series of non-overlapping coordinates. I can get like some coordinates out of the bounds based on some things. No, Joel, you plan to do some backgrounds for your favorite games? It's probably also yours someday. Ah, that's amazing. No, yeah, your isometric stuff looks great. Looks great in that tool. Diginanigans, how do you feel about interacting with like the Godot API from C#? Because I generally avoid doing it because I'm kind of weird. So I haven't done it much. I know it's kind of weird, especially if you're trying to call stuff across domains. Like when I try to call a GDScript function from C#, it's a little weird. It works, but it's still just... I find it awkward, so I try to like minimize the amount of that I have to do. Hey, VoidBlit, how's it going? How have you been? All right, this is gonna break a couple things. That's fine. Gotta find where those are. Shenanigans. You've not had a single issue interacting with the Godot APIs from C# so far. You know, it's gotten a lot better in the last few versions than it used to. That's cool. It's nice to see. Yeah, I'm definitely, part of me is kind of just prematurely optimizing by minimizing the amount I'm doing that. But a lot of the stuff I have can just live on the C# side and really doesn't need to talk to Godot at all. So I'm just kind of being conscious of that. But it's definitely overkill in most cases. It'll be cool if they, you know, if they get a... So why does this say... This says place block forms. Okay, so we don't pass in the block forms. I kind of want to. So that's kind of what we're doing everywhere else. Oh, that won't work. But for some reason, that will work. Interesting. If I do this. Woodblade, you've been playing games too much. You want to try doing some constructive, creative hobby now? Nice, yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that. I've had times where I'm kind of tired of all the games I'm playing. And at that point, I usually just want to work on games. Or do something. Shenanigans, you're doing a lot of your logic directly in C# code too. You tend to use scenes only for setting up stuff that's easier to do visually, like lighting and materials and putting in your root nodes. Ah, okay, yeah. So we're thinking about it similarly. Yeah, I think a light touch is good for that. Yeah, there was a while recently where I just didn't want to play games really much at all. Um, and then I picked up Foundation because it's on sale right now for like 30% off. This is so much fun. I've had so much fun in this game. It's a little medieval city builder. It's fixed a lot of my, well, it hasn't fixed a lot of it, but it's helped me with a lot of my obsession with like optimization and stuff because this is pretty cozy. It kind of helps you to just kind of accept like the organic growth of like your city, your little villages. You kind of just accept them over time instead of trying to control everything from like from the beginning. Which is nice and it's very on theme for like medieval stuff. But yeah, I've had a real good time with this game. I'm starting to get to the point where I understand the systems enough to be annoyed at them, but that's a fine place to be. But yeah, they recently hit 1.0 and they're 30% off for the next like 24 hours, so, or 22 hours. So yeah, I really enjoy this. It fixes a lot of problems in the same way that I really got into Against the Storm. In my mind, Against the Storm really answers a lot of my perfectionist problems with city builders because it's like a roguelike city builder. So your cities don't live very long. They live for like an hour or two, maybe, max. And so you kind of just accept that things are going to happen and you're just going to do the best you can with your stuff. It's really cool. It gets me away from the kind of perfectionist, like analysis paralysis issues I have in a lot of city builders. So I've been enjoying these kind of different takes on city building. Yeah, you should try it some in a second. Voidblit, you picked up Farthest Frontier and Endless Legend 2 just last week. Nice, nice. Hey, Atagon, thank you for the hydrate. I'm sorry I didn't observe it. How are you doing? Voidblit, you tried playing Foundation. You didn't like that you felt like you were just waiting for new people to come into the city. Yeah, that can be annoying. You can get stuck in a bad cycle where like happiness is down, so immigration is down, and housing is like, or you can get into these issues where you aren't getting new people and you really need new people to get on track, which is why I'm trying to play that game more casually and not quite as like I'm trying not to rush through it. There's a coziness to the game where I feel like I'm getting there if I like approach it the right way, but yeah, that's definitely a problem. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be more relaxed about that sort of thing. But yeah, if you're trying to play it like optimally, there's a lot of just waiting or sitting on 3x speed and just waiting. And I try not to do that. But it's hard because you have to change your goals. You have to change like what you're trying to do in the game. All right. I think we've addressed the old out-of-date functions. I think the one I want to look at here is the reveal blocks. Oh, also this one. This one's being used somewhere. Oh, this is something that uses an offset. That's interesting. Voidblade, how much do you game on average? Do you have time for work, a side project, and playing games? Oh, it's all I do. It's all I do. I don't really exercise. I don't really have any other hobbies. I'm at my computer like most of every day. It's not good. But yeah, I game a bit. I game a little most days. I can lose a weekend to a game. Like the weekend I discovered Foundation, which was probably like a couple weekends ago now, I sunk a lot of time. Just off the bat. I'm kind of normalized now, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to have time. Shenanigans. The rest you do all from C# code. Okay, so not stuff like lighting and materials and setting up scenes and stuff. So you have a core node 3D for your map, then have that create a bunch of Godot's grid maps for anything that needs to be rendered. You have 1 grid map for your collisions and logic, then 16 grid maps for various layers of your rendering grid. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's similar to how we structure our project. Our project, we have the game, which is like the root node, and this is the window into the C# world, because this is the one node that's also hooked in. So it's like our root node. It's where we're hooked into C#, so it knows about everything else. And we have this board, which is like a 2D node. And the board holds everything on the quote-unquote game board. So it holds this like node of all the tile map levels. And levels are like... A level is like an actual positional level. And then each level will have however many tile map layers you need. So yeah, so we're doing a similar kind of thing, I think. Gotta clean this project up. Getting crusty. Void Blit, you're unable to balance this. If you allow yourself to play games and you feel like you'll just play games and do nothing else except for work, I think that's okay. I try to kind of surf my motivation, you know? If I feel like playing games, I know I don't always feel like playing games, so when I do feel like playing games, I try to just do it. Obviously, there's some stuff you have to kind of just do, like work-wise. Like work-wise, I describe it, especially this, streaming and game dev and stuff, I do describe it as like going to a gym or something. It's something you got to just do, whether you want to do it or not, but yeah, when I actually feel enthusiasm for something, like playing a game, I do try to just do it if I can. All right, so we're going to have a version of merge block forms that's going to include an offset. It's going to be kind of interesting. So there's an input, an output, and an offset. Okay. Put that down here because that's pretty crazy. Actually, we might put it up here. No, we'll put it down here. So we'll have an input. We have a vector 3i offset. And we have a buffer 3D. Well, the inputs can be read-only. And then we have an off, and we have an output. Diginatings, you're just dynamically creating the nodes in code instead of creating complex scenes in Godot. Yeah, I like to minimize the amount of stuff I do in the editor. I like to do stuff programmatically in code if I can. There are some exceptions to that, but like I think configuring stuff in the editor is kind of nice, but yeah. You'll probably build your UI stuff directly in Godot, though. Yeah. That we're doing the same. Godot for me is all about the rendering and UI and all that stuff, the underlying stuff I don't want to have to do. Void Blit, you were playing Baldur's Gate 3 too much. You got to the city finally. You realized you're like 70 hours in, and there are another 70-ish hours of the game left. You lost most motivation to continue for now. I think that's okay with something that big. I tried to play Baldur's Gate 3. I kind of bounced off it. Because I was trying to play it too hard. I was too hardcore about it, and turns out I don't actually want to like manage an entire D&D party. Turns out I like to play a character in a D&D party. So I need to try Baldur's Gate again, and I need to try, I think I need to just let go a little. Maybe play it on a lower difficulty setting or something where I can kind of just vibe and just kind of ignore, kind of just pass through easily without having to worry too much about optimizing everything. And then kind of just focus on the fun, the moments of fun where you can do weird stuff. Merge the party into one mega character. Yeah, I would be down with that, Adagon. All right, block.merge, we can't do this. But what we can do is we can say output dot set Well, we can't say output. We can say output coords. No. Output dot get index coords. And we say dot merge. What do we have a problem here for? Output. Oh, output.span. Merge. Input.get. We can say get. Merge just wants the block form, right? Yeah. Oh, this is kind of annoying. Rhiannon Journey, you have the exact same problem. You get focused on researching how to optimize and use everything the best way, quote unquote, so much that your hobby isn't the game anymore, it's learning about the game. Yeah. At least you take it to that extreme. I'll do that for city builders or strategy games eventually. I'm trying to avoid doing that in Foundation just so I can enjoy some of the stuff, but I'll learn something where I'll be like, oh, people will straight up refuse to move to a house that's more than 150 meters from their workplace. It's like, the game doesn't tell you that. You can build a housing district and no one moves there and you're like, what's going on? And you can kind of like nebulously understand that like the houses aren't desirable to the people. But what the game doesn't tell you is that you're more than 150 meters from their workplace. And they just won't consider it. So like there's all these details that eventually you get to a point in the game where you're like, you need to know these details or you can't play at a high level. But yeah, it's like there's some cognitive load threshold where it's like there's too much now. And it's not fun anymore. Yeah, the hobby is like surfing the data or maybe surfacing the data that you actually need to play the game. Voidblit, in turn-based games, you prefer to have a party because playing just one character would not be very engaging for you. It would take away too much from the tactical combat. You had this problem with Fallout 1 and 2 where you couldn't get into it because the combat felt simplistic, not engaging. I should play Fallout 1 and 2. I played 3 and 4. I'm not a big turn-based strategy guy, surprisingly. I much prefer like pausable real-time or something. But I agree. It's hard to make a single player or a single character turn-based game like that. But to me, the turn-based doesn't solve the cognitive load problem. Like, obviously, it gives you time to make decisions, but it's like, yeah, I don't want to look at my party of 4 or 5 people and have to, like, yeah, I don't know. We've talked about some of my personal issues with turn-based games like that. I think it's just generally not my jam. I'm much more of a real-time strategy guy. There are some exceptions, like obviously Into the Breach is good. Invisible Ink. I loved Invisible Ink. That was really cool. But I think those games are incredibly simplistic compared to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is like on a complexity level that's insane. That's just, I mean, it's D&D. It's most of D&D. It's crazy. I'm getting distracted. Diginanigans is saying some good stuff. If you don't really want to manage your full party in Baldur's Gate 3, you can just let it pick whatever default options for NPCs. That's cool. I kind of like games that let you do that. Distant Worlds let you do that. You could be like, you were building a space empire and you could basically just leave. You could leave systems on automate, or you could control the automation, or you could take them off automate if you wanted to manage them. So you could be like, I don't want to worry about diplomacy, or I don't want to worry about fleet management, or I don't want to worry about designing new ships. And you could only dig into the systems that you really wanted to. I think that's a cool way to do it. You forgot about Invisible Ink? Yeah, that was fun. Invisible Incorporated. That was a great game. There's also mods, shenanigans, on PC to let the game AI take control of your other party members, so you only need to control one. Both do a pretty good job as long as you're not playing on hardcore. PG3 also has a real-time mod, but that is crazy difficult because the game wasn't balanced around that. No. D&D is not a real-time game. I might try the AI-controlled characters. What I probably would do is just play on a difficulty that's low enough where I can just kind of YOLO my way through everything. That's probably more what I would want to do. PG3 is actually considered to be a good introduction to CRPG. Owlscat's games like Pathfinder, Kingmaker are way more complex. Oh yeah. This whole series of games are not for me. Like, I tried to play Pillars of Eternity and stuff like that. Not for me. Hey, full box. How's it going in the box? How's the juice box? Squeezing lots of juice into scope creepers. All right, I swear I was doing something. I was developing a replacement for this function. I think I did that. So let's break it, and then let's see who even uses this. This is used only by the hover. Fascinating. Clipped blocks. What the F is clipped blocks? Oh. Wait, what is clipped blocks? Is that blocks that have been... Is this how we're keeping track of... Oh, it's the clipboard. Okay, never mind. Easy. The juice is juicing. That's great. Rihanna Journey, you've tried every Baldur's Gate game since you were a little kid. You've never gotten further than 10 to 15 hours into them. You just keep bouncing off. For some reason, Pillars of Eternity clicked. You got through the first one. Nice. I hear Deadfire is really good. Yeah, I don't think CRPGs are for me. It's sad. It's sad, but it seems to be the way of things. It's interesting, too, when you think you're like, on paper, I should like this kind of game. And then you just play it and you're like, nah, I don't know, nah. I'm definitely getting more chill as I get older. Probably because I'm running out of time. Like Void Blitz talking about, like, I don't have time to play all these games and work and have a side project. So I'm playing, like, I'm engaging with stuff in a much more relaxed way than I think I used to. I used to be way more of like a grognard, I think. Can't really do it now. This reveal inactive blocks thing. I don't love this. How do I change this? So this is also going to have an input-output. And the way we're going to do this... Oh, this has a hidden blocks thing. That's interesting. How do I want to do this? I guess we could call this reveal block forms. The reveal blocks in is used a lot. So I think we'll have place block forms, and I guess we have reveal block forms, or maybe return. I don't know, I think reveal is better. Maybe return. Nah, reveal. Reveal describes kind of the intention of what you're doing. You're just getting more stressed out about everything? Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I think that's generally true and about my life in general, and I think that's why when I'm playing games, I'm really trying to like just chill out about it. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm compensating for something. So this is a good check. We're doing this sort of thing. Do we really want to do this sort of thing? I guess we do. Oh, I probably shouldn't have cut the thing, but... Output.set coords input.get. This is not correct. Or maybe the output.set is correct here. Because this is set, yeah, this just replaces the value. I've realized I've started writing set in places where I have flags and it's like ORing. It ORs stuff. That's my idea of set when I'm talking about bit flags. And I'm like, that's different than like an exclusive set where you like just replace the value. And I'm like, oh, I got to start distinguishing between what I mean when I say set. I'm going to run into trouble somewhere. Or I think I'm replacing a value and actually I'm just like adding it. Okay, so I think I can replace all of these with just variations here. So like this, so I actually don't even need a variation. So like this version has bounds and then this version has 2 sets of bounds. I can just use the 1 set of bounds and then just pass this in as the function or as the parameter for the bounds. And then otherwise this is like the same. Well, I guess we don't need this argument exception. Because the input and output might actually not be the same. So actually, I don't want that. It's actually not guaranteed to be the same. So let's get rid of, so there's 8 of these. Let's just get rid of this one first. So that one will be easier to replace. So this will just say reveal block forms. I think restore is also a good word for this. Oh, is remit actually a good word here? Not really. The first definition is cancel or refrain from exacting or inflicting a debt or punishment. Which is like, the first part I like that. I'm like, oh, cancel or refrain. Then it's like, yeah, that's not good. It's the right length. Oh, we're heading into ads. Hang on. Hold on to your ads, everybody. All right, we're going to keep calling this reveal. So instead of passing this through here, what we're going to do is we're going to say bounds. And was it get non-overlapping? I guess I don't know because I deleted it, but I think it was get non-overlapping. So I need a version of that can take a list. That's it. So it really doesn't matter whether it's a bounding box or a list. There are no safety checks here. We have safety checks everywhere else, but not there. I think we need safety checks. I think we can put these up here. That's better. Should put that down here now. All right, so that handles revealing stuff. So here's where we do this most of the time. So we're going to get rid of this. Going to add a lot of errors. We're going to replace them. It's going to be mostly fine. It's going to complain about the nature of the buffers, but that's fine. We're changing the buffers last. Oh my god, raid alert. Raid alert, everybody. Raiding straight into an ad storm. We gotta get him out of there. We gotta get him out of the ad storm. Power up the transporters. How's it going, tomato salad? I think you're probably stuck in ads for another 30 seconds here. Oh, there you are. Good. Welcome in. How's it going? How is the stream? How's life? We're doing a refactor. We're breaking everything. We're breaking everything left and right here. We're doing it on purpose. You don't have ads? Yay. Kane, after working Python for so long, I forgot how nice C# is. It's nice to look at for sure. Welcome in. All right, I think we just need to bite the bullet here and change the buffer. Stream was awesome. You did work on the project. You got great ideas. That's so great. What's your current project right now? We're Digital Iliad for you raiders here. We're Digital Iliad. Wow, I have so many tabs open. Or windows. We're working on an FTL-like. It's isometric 2D. We're doing a lot of work on that. The underlying systems that power that, because it's a 3D environment that's being rendered in isometric 2D, or a kind of isometric 2D, dimetric, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're working on a low-res space game, kind of like FTL, with maybe like a dash of like RimWorld style, larger scale stuff. But yeah, that's it. We're working on some tools to help us build and display these little spaceships and, you know, planetoids or whatever we end up generating as the play space here. Mostly spaceships, sometimes space stations, maybe an asteroid base if we're feeling you know, bold. We're so bold. And I really should have had a tea ready to go. I've still got a little coffee left though. But I can feel the desire for a nice big cup of tea. Tomato salad, your actual project. is a factory roguelite clicker game. Ooh, factory roguelite clicker game. But at the moment, you have to build up a whole city for it. Word. That's, you know, because you don't want to show only modeling on stream. You've started a prototype for a hopefully simple mining game and improved the mining there, plus got some ideas for letting mines collapse. Oh, cool. Okay, so you're working on a little side project. That's nice. That's nice. I'm doing something kind of similar. I'm thinking about making like an idle game, like a little spaceship idle game, kind of like Rokupa's Idle Island or something like that, where it's just like a single cargo ship and you're like, you have like one crew member or something like that. It's like the Serenity Firefly ship or something like that. It's like a little cargo hauler, and you just watch a ship kind of just doing short haul cargo flights. Like the crew member like falls asleep during the flight, lands where they're going, like drops off some cargo, picks up some new cargo, takes off, flies again. I'm thinking about doing something like that as like a test case of all of this tech that we're building. I don't know if you're leveraging these systems for both games, if you like see them as being tightly related or not, or if it's totally just like a totally separate side project you're working on. Yarnold, what's up? BG3 is awesome. You should try that AI party control mod. You sometimes get tired of controlling so many characters. Yeah, I think I could do that. And I think that would change my relationship to the characters in Baldur's Gate 3, because when I control their every action, it's like hard for me to like narratively engage with them as separate characters. Like when I'm totally in control of what they're doing. I don't like that. I don't like party RPG games where like I'm playing Avowed sometimes. I kind of lost a lot of steam on it, but I like Avowed. I think it's good. But yeah, I don't want to have to be telling these companions what to do. I want them to just be competent and just do their thing and support me or get out of the way. Like, and I think that would change my relationship with the Baldur's Gate 3 characters. I think I would have I'd be able to take a more objective view of them and like their side stories and like how I want to engage with them. If I'm like just controlling myself most of the time in combat and they're controlling themselves and they're kind of just doing what they think is best. Arneo, check out My Summer Car if you haven't. Sounds like similar vibe-wise. Oh, okay. My Summer Car. Survival game. Ultimate car owning, building, fixing, tuning, maintenance, and permadeath life survival simulator. Okay. Smooth in a second. This sounds like it's for you. Oh, this just came out. This is not a fun game. It's the first thing the trailer says. Oh my god. I don't know what's happening. Oh. You start the game with hundreds of loose parts and assemble both car and engine. Oh, that's super cool. That is crazy. I don't see how this is similar to anything we've been talking about, but this is awesome. Oh. Do you just get driven off the road by like a chicken or something, or a rooster? I wasn't totally sure what was happening there. No, it wasn't that. It was just keep driving. Okay, a different game. Okay, just keep driving. That's a song. Okay, there's a keep driving video game. It's just called Keep Driving. Is that maybe what you're thinking about? An atmospheric management RPG about life on the open road. Pick up hitchhikers, work odd jobs, customize and repair your car, and map your route across the country. This looks fun. This looks more interesting. Remember to take it easy. You're young, you have time. Okay, no, this looks cozier. This looks cozier. There we go. No worries, Arneo. That's funny. All right. Well, thanks for the raid, Tomato Salad. If you gotta go, that's cool. I get it. I'm gonna try to. I see you streaming sometime in the morning when I'm working. I'm gonna check in, see how your project's doing. This is sick, but man, there's too many games. This game also came out this year, and I think I heard about it once. It's also on sale right now. I might have to get this. Oh, you're trying to get a festival on the other side of the country? Oh, cool, cool, cool. There was that other survival car game that was like isometric. I think it's by the Saltzmans, like Adam Saltzman. Is that his name? Is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Adam Saltzman. Didn't he make a game? It's kind of like that. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Unclear. But yeah, that My Summer Car is wild. We're okay with that. Picking up hitchhikers. You believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt, but that's sketch. Yeah, it is. It is. Let's stick around for a moment. For you, it's evening. Probably will head over to couch soon. No worries. Take it easy. That's a nice thing to do. I think I want to do that tonight. I'm always torn. I'm either going to settle in and like just dig it deep into a new foundation game I've started where I'm trying to build up like a monastery, which has some interesting restraints where you're like not supposed to have that many villagers. So you're constrained in your economy. I'm interested to try it. So I think foundation's really good if you can get a big trade system, a trade exchange going where you're like actually buying. You're not trying to just make everything yourself. I'm interested to try that. All right, so it's time. It's time to change the nature of these buffers. So this block buffer 3D thing needs to change. I don't love how long I'm making these titles of these structs, but we're gonna make a new one. I'm gonna make a new one. It's gonna replace the old one. It's gonna be a block forms buffer 3D. And it's basically just a copy of this one. I'm gonna make a new component flag. We're actually just gonna replace this one with the block forms buffer. Should I add 3D? Probably should. I don't typically, but I think I should. All right, we broke a bunch of stuff. I think it's okay. Why is init not implemented? Whatever. So that is broken. We are just going to get rid of it. I know that's a weird way to do this, but we're going to do it. How did that affect the cutaway buffer? Oh, because the cutaway buffers. Okay. Voidblade, one of the Anno games. And Europa Universalis 5 just next month. Too many games. You just bought 2. Yeah, I'll play Anno 1800 eventually. There was an old Anno that I really liked. Anno 15 something. Was it 1503? No, I think it was. List of Anno games. There's so many of them. Which one was my favorite? Anno 1602, 1503, 1701. Maybe it's 1701. It's probably 1701. No, I think it was earlier than that. 1602? No. I don't remember. But yeah, I've liked... Oh, maybe it's 1404. I think that's the one. I think that's the one I was really into. Yeah, this is looking like it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it was 1404. Foundation has a lot of the similar, you know, joys. Your first anno was 1404? Yeah, exactly. That was a good one. I love that one. Why do I have a get? Oh, because that's all you can do with it. Can I just say this instead? Like that? Is that what this says now? Yeah, okay. All right, we broke everything. Let's fix it. So we're going to call this a block forms buffer 3D. Okay, so far so good. Oop. We'll fix this for now. This is a buffer 3D only of block forms. Did I not change that in here? I did not. Now we got to change it everywhere else. There's a Roman anno coming out next month. Oh yeah, there is, isn't there? I might play that. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a Roman city builder. Someday I would like, once I'm done with my whole sci-fi, my sci-fi thing, once I'm done making sci-fi games, I really want to make a Greek or a Greek-esque like city builder kind of game. I would love to take kind of the stuff that we're working on here and do something at that level in the future. It would definitely be a lot harder. But that's why we're not doing it now. Rhiannon Journey, you're dating yourself. You played so much Caesar 2 back in the day. Oh, Caesar's awesome. The Caesar games. I think I was watching Sorcery Story. Play some of those. Caesar. I think they were playing the Pharaoh ones, but those are good. Those are classic. Foundation has a walker model like that, and it's so much. I love that. I love that model. I love the walker model. I think everyone does, compared to like the walker model versus the like SimCity like statistics model. I think everyone prefers the walker model where you actually have people walking around and having to like do the thing. It's one of those things. It's like when given a choice, that's just got to be better, right? All right, copy to clipboard. I got to rewrite some of these functions here. There are no boundary checks here, huh? Again, I don't think these have to be the same length. I'm going to keep these complaints in here right for now. I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. You didn't play Caesar. You played a bunch of SimCity 2003, 2004. Also the Settlers 3 and 4. Oh, yeah, Settlers. Classic. You love the walker model also, Rhiannon Journey? It's fun to just to pick a random person and follow their day or watch the firemen run out to put out fire. Yeah, check out Foundation. Foundation's really good for that. It's really cozy. I will just watch like my tax collector go about their day or something. Like, it's so fun. It's very visually pleasing too, and the atmosphere is great. Awesome. Thanks for telling me the shenanigans. Baldur's Gate 3 mods 746. Okay, I'm thinking about making a new character and trying that game again, and I think that's how I would do it. Yarnold, you always get attached to characters that roll well in combat early in the run. Maybe it'll work the same with whoever has the best AI decisions. Yeah, I think it'll be funny. I think it will make it easier for me to treat the character as a separate person with like their own agenda and stuff. It's kind of feels very self-dealing when I'm like in control of the character and I'm making like narrative choices for them or about how I'm interacting with them, and I'm like, this is just my own other character. All right, reveal block sin doesn't work. Doesn't exist. This does though. All right, we've almost got the errors here. Cut to clipboard. Right. We can just go from here. What mod are you talking about? Diginanigans is talking about a mod. It's a Baldur's Gate mod. Let me see if I can find it based on this information you sent me here. Baldur's Gate 3 mods. I think it's on Nexus. Okay, so Nexus mods. It's a mod that will let the AI control your party members that isn't your character. Which I think if I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3, that's going to be the way I do that. Mods 746 AI party. I'm just gonna add some qualifiers here. AI party mod. All right, we think it's this one. Companions AI. Drop a link for that. This mod will give you 10 AI for you to choose from for any class or any role your companions may have. There are also 3 blank customizable AI for you to edit it yourself. Sick. So many ads. So many ads. It's crazy how many ads. AI only takes effect when you're in battle. You don't have to worry about it taking over your game. Spell to enable, disable AI doesn't cost anything. Oh, that's funny. So you can like enable or disable it. Okay, maybe don't use it for friendly NPCs. Oh, you can use it on animals and summons. I see how that could be annoying. That's cool. So you've got like presets. You've got like attacker, controller, supporter for melee or range. And you've got a hybrid for different classes. Yeah, this is pretty sick. Just stay alive for delicate healer or important NPC that you want to keep alive. Oh, that's nice. Just stay alive is a great AI mode. AI setting. Yeah, I might try this. I'd be curious to see how well it works with like actions and spells and stuff about managing your I'd be curious to see how good they are about managing their mana and their resources, whether they just exhaust everything and treat every fight as if it's like a fight, like a high level or a high stakes fight versus kind of just like slow rolling through an easy fight. Okay, you can cast the disable AI spell if you want to disable AI. No. You can configure them. Yeah, this is cool. I might try this. Companions AI. Cool. Kind of being on your phone, getting these kinds of ads, and your phone quickly starts burning in your hand. That's funny. All right, we've got a couple more errors here. Let's find them. Obviously in the different systems. Oh yeah, the cut to clipboard. I needed to fix that. This should have a hidden blocks.add words. I wonder if I'll eventually make that like a buffer that having it be a hash, that's fine for now. So this function, so all the functions need to know about the new buffers. We got to rewrite the rooms thing. Block set with rooms. Yeah, that's actually going to be a block rooms. Let's say rooms. Bounds will come first. Unless we just call this buffer. Looks like we're just going to call this buffer. Arnold, what was my latest Baldur's Gate character? I made a little halfling bard, which was fun. I think I'd be more willing to pick. I tried to pick a character that like wasn't an obvious party member, or a class that wasn't an obvious party member class, as far as I could tell, without spoiling it for myself. I don't know if I would play Bard again if I was playing this companion AI mode, because obviously a lot of the Bard's utility is about just making your friends do better. And I don't know, maybe that would be more fun if I'm not in control of what the companions are doing, but it might actually just make me annoyed, where I'm like, I gave you this bardic inspiration and you're using it for nothing. Which would be a very authentic D&D experience, to try to buff your friends and then get annoyed when they don't do a good job. All right, well, these are different buffers now, so that's an obvious problem. I might need to quote unquote circle back here. I can do calculate used bounds. This should be fine. This shouldn't care. What does is empty do? Oh no, that's calling it from. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I don't know what I would play. I think next time around I might just play fighter. Play someone that can hold it down. Actually, I'd probably play someone that can heal themselves. And I don't know if I would be big on I don't remember the cleric's name. But I don't know if I would play with that cleric on my next playthrough. Whoever the default cleric is, so maybe I could play like a paladin or something. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Man, I should have really done like a better... should have done a refactor command or something, but I was like, I want to just do it because I want to like actually walk through and see where the problems are. Now I'm regretting that. I'm having to tediously do a lot. Like xblock.isOutside, that's not something I can do anymore here. Okay, here's something. We're gonna call this forms. We're gonna rename this to forms. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna need to have a xblock. Yeah, this is gonna need to be rooms. We're gonna need to actually look through somewhere else. So we're gonna need to pass through more than one buffer. So this is gonna be like buffer 3D, read only. Might eventually put holes on a buffer as well. Rooms. Rooms are the bit fields that tell you what compartments a block either is part of or is like a divider for. And so this needs to say, so X block needs to be rooms .getter default, and it needs to be block rooms. And then now we can say xblock.isOutside, although it doesn't have that function as yet because I have not written it. That's the same as isEmpty, but I think I think maybe I want to change isEmpty to just be a parameterless has any. I want that instead. Has any value not equal to 0. I think I'm allowed to do that. I don't think I need to do a loop or anything. In fact, this loop is stupid. Oh no, because I'm checking specific forms. Right. Never mind. Although, do I really need to go through all forms? Couldn't I just go through these forms? For each block form in block forms. Block forms is not... Oh no, it is IEnumerable for forms. So wait, why am I doing it this way? I don't understand. I'm going to think about that for a second. Shenanigans. You have a full custom party of 4 characters right now. You have a Sun Elf, a Circle of Dreams Druid, an Arcane Domain Cleric. Half Orc Paladin. Purple Dragon Knight. Dusk Elf, Spellslinger, Gunslinger, Thief Rogue, Zaritha Spellfire Sorcerer, Archfey Warlock. Oh, you are off the deep end to shenanigans. That's interesting. Yeah, Yarnold's like, you have 4 custom characters. Do you not consider one of them the main character? Yeah, it's like you're playing a multiplayer game by yourself. That's so crazy. But you're pretty hardcore. So it makes sense. Do I want this public static block forms empty is new? Or do I just want to have a constructor that doesn't take a... I don't know. I'm going to do this has anything. We're going to do that instead. New buffer read write AABB room buffer comp. I gotta make that. Settled blocks. Set room bounds. Block forms. This is a pretty big... Alright, so these are the forms. This is the rooms. I think. Oh, these are the room bounds. So that's another thing I'm keeping track of, huh? forgot that's another thing I'm keeping track of. I actually don't know if anyone uses this information. Maybe the cutaway uses it. Maybe the cutaway uses it. So we don't actually want this. We want this information. Block rooms. Oh yeah, this has the empty has any. I like that. Oh, we're just gonna call this buffer. That looks like that'll work. Not for you. You played it so many times it keeps things interesting. No, that sounds fun. Sounds fun. Thought all the mods included. You like the Arcane Archer a lot, as well as you can get some fun combos out of Rogue mixed with Ranger. Yeah, multi-classing would be crazy. I do that. I like multi-classing when I'm actually playing D&D. Because there's a lot of planning involved, and it takes a long time to see it play out, but it's really fun when it does. Yarnold, maybe you're turning it into more of a strategy game, which does make sense. Shenanigans, you don't play the game for the story at all anymore, so it's all about trying different fun combinations of things and adding more content with mods. Have stuff to randomize things every playthrough. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. I'd like to just play it once and experience the story, you know? I didn't even get to... I think I had just started to head down into the Underdark. And it was clear that I was not prepared for the Underdark at the difficulty I was playing at. So I was like, at this point where I was like, well, I could go back to the surface world and just try to like level some more. And I don't know, I just kind of lost steam. The fights were just too complex. Just to be managing the whole fight, and there was so little room for error. I guess I played on too hard a difficulty or something. Who knows? Set room bounds, settled blocks. Yeah, we don't want that anymore. We want something else. Do we reference preview blocks at all? No, so what we can do is we can say block forms. And then we can say variable block rooms. So we're separating out the data. This data used to be held together in one spot. And it was causing problems, so we're kind of splitting it off. I need to make that rooms buffer. Let's just duplicate this. Happen to duplicate. I'm afraid to just hit Control D. Shenanigans, in your opinion, the story is really good. It's just the sort of thing that once you know the story, you know the story. Oh, for sure. That's just how stories go, right? I think that's why people are so interested in like procedurally assembling elements of like common elements of stories together. Do it like epic cycle style, where like everyone recognizes the individual elements of the story, but you can combine it together in interesting, novel ways. People are interested in that sort of thing. All right, we're just gonna add it. There's a bunch of optional content a lot of people miss on their first playthrough. A lot of choices you can make that actually significantly affect the game. But eventually you know everything and it's hard to be captivated by a story you already know. Yeah, I know they put so much detail in Baldur's Gate 3 that it's remarkable how much content there is in that game, and I want to just experience it, but I do think I just want to experience it in a lower stress environment. Like, I'm a real gamer and I try to do the real gamer, play it real gamer way, but like play it at a high difficulty and like where every decision matters and stuff like that. But like, I think I'm kind of done with that with story RPGs, because it's very like, if I can't get through a fight the first couple tries and it looks like it's gonna be real hard, like I'm either gonna have to back out and try to get a different way or something. That's so very likely to result in me just not playing the game anymore for a minute. And then eventually that happens enough times that you just aren't playing anymore. So yeah, I think I'm coming around to just turning down the difficulty for that stuff. Block rooms. So here's the thing about this. Do I wanna like, right now there's basically no information here. There's just a bit field value, and there's an implicit conversion between the two. So like, you can get your block room struct, or you could get your bit field 64. I kind of don't want to add any functionality to this, and I kind of just wanted to be like, well, if you want to do any of the bit field operations, you just implicitly convert it to the bit field, and then that's it. And that's how it works. I'm kind of going to do that. I think I'm going to do that. I could try to do the same thing with, well, I can't exactly do the same thing with the block forms. Not really. I could move a lot of the functionality to the block, I guess, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. So we've got our block rooms thing. Here we have xblock.isOutside. That's the same as asking has any. Oh, geez. We ask both of these, don't we? So we need both. Oh, we have both. Oh, so we also need the forms. Great. Maybe the only annoying thing about separating these. But you don't always need... Actually, the vast majority of the time, you don't need both. So I think it's fine. Why can't I do this, though? Oh, well, that's a problem. Why can't I resolve this, though? I shouldn't have to explicitly... Oh, okay, that didn't work either. Why are these different? I hope those are both supposed to be X. Alright, why doesn't this work? It's because you don't have this function. But what you do have is this implicit operator here. So why isn't that helping us? Yarnold, your solo playthroughs tend to end before you finish the whole story, often around the Act 2-3 switch. If your run has even a small break, you just prefer to start it all over again with new choices. That's me with city builders, because you always learn something, and you're always like, this time I'm going to do it right. It's a very strategy gamer response. Shenanigans, you finished the game fully 4 times, 3 of which were with your wife. That's awesome. Yeah, my partner's getting into RPGs more. Not quite those kinds of RPGs, but she's really enjoyed like Sea of Stars and like the Ni no Kuni games. Pentiment was a good one. That's not really a combat RPG, but it's a hell of an RPG. All right, so why can't I get this has any call here? Also, does this need to be a function? It's more of a... No, I think it's fine as a function. So why can't this has any call? Well, it doesn't have it here, so... So do I need to do something weird? Like, do I need to say that this is actually a bit field 64? I don't want to do that, but that seems to be what's having to happen here. All right, well, I guess we are adding functionality to this thing. Do we just make it something like public bool has any? Should it just be value.has any? That way, if the implementation changes, it's fine. Yeah, let's just do that. There we go. Now it's working. Hey, Violet Noon. How's it going? It's going good. How are you? It's our first stream of the week. We're making progress. We're doing a big refactor. We're getting there, though. Forms.span I. Is there a reason I don't get this? Forms.span I. Oh, because it's just us. I see. I see. Forms.span. Yeah, I guess I don't technically have to. It would just be kind of hard. There wouldn't be room to invoke this whole thing on this line. I kind of don't want to do it. Do you have anything planned for episode 256? Oh yeah, that's real soon, huh? Because this is episode 254. We're going to do the thing that we do during all of our Power of 2 episodes, where we're going to go back to the last Power of 2 episode and see what we were working on. And we kind of do that every time. So when we go back and look at episode 128, the beginning of episode 128 should be us going back and looking at episode 64. So we kind of get this really nice, like, Russian nesting doll of we get this every time we get hit a Power of 2 episode, we like have this weird kind of almost like Hall of Mirrors effect where we can kind of see all the way back to the beginning of the project, or pretty close to the beginning of the project. I think it's kind of fun. Hopefully the thing is, each time there's twice as much distance each time we make one of these look backs. So it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to, hit episode 512 and think about how far we've come from episode 256, which will probably... Episode 256, I guess, is Friday. Is that right? That should be cool. Hey, Jim the Dandy. How's it going? Violet Noon, what are you trying to refactor? Your skill at reading code is lacking. Oh, it's not your skill at reading code. It's my ability to write readable code is is very questionable, if not non-existent. We are breaking up a piece of data. This thing called the block. That's one of our 3D segments. It's like one of these wall blocks or a door or something like that. Each one is a block and a 3D buffer. And we're kind of just splitting up the elements of that block to be stored separately because we're going to try to do a kind of a double buffering thing. So we're splitting it up into multiple parts. How are you doing? Each of these are going to use both, huh? Yeah, they are. These are all read-only, right? Yeah. I made a mistake. It's weird that we're determining the start and the end points from this bounds thing. We should probably pass in a bounds, I guess, eventually. Instead of just doing it this way. But for now, this is fine. Very similar to what we wrote above, just for a different type of block. You're making your own rendering thing, kinda? It kinda. So what we're doing is we're making an isometric, a sort of isometric 3D FTL style game. So it's like a 3D ship, but it's rendered to you an isometric 2D, so you can slice layers off of it, you know? So you're looking at this 3D ship in a sort of 2D view. And so we store all of that data in 3D. And we're splitting some different aspects of that data up and storing it separately, which is usually fine. Here's an awkward case where it's like less fine. Just because we're having to get both of them. But I think that's the rare... I think it's a pretty rare occasion when we need both of them. It's important to note, though. Actually, part of the reason we're doing this is just so we can fully copy spans back and forth, like, instead of having to go through element by element. Because each span will only have one particular piece of information. It's a lot easier to do. Because you're not worried about having to copy, like, interleave this data together. You can just replace it. So that'll be nice. So here we're doing a Z-block check For the deck layer stuff, we just look at ourselves. Oh, right. Okay, I understand why. It's a little difficult. It's one of those things where it's the beauty of programming is, you know, you just keep working on it, you keep chipping away at it. You just keep, you know, taking your big problems and making them into small problems, and eventually you just kind of get there. And we're slowly but surely getting there. Which is part of the reason we end up doing these refactors. The closer you get, the more you desperately need them. But yeah, I'm hoping to be done with this editor tool relatively soon. So we can move on to the simulation stuff. Because this is pretty foundational work that we're doing. So door layer data, what do you use? Do you use any room information? Or are you only checking? I want to hear someone say, let me check what kind of form this has. I don't see anybody doing that here. Anybody? I don't see that happening inside this function. So I'm going to see if we can get away with it. So we'll just refactor this to just say buffer, because as far as I can tell, that's all we got in here. All right, here we go. This is what we're talking about. Getter default. No, that's fine. We can just say forms. Say forms. All right, I think this is fine. It doesn't look like we do anything with room data here. Just, oh, nope, here it is. Positive X block to rooms.has any. Great, okay. Yeah, at this exact step, it seems like we use both of these quite a bit. But I swear, most of the time, we don't need both. And find out why is there no error here? There should be an error here. Here it is. So positive X block way up there. Oh god, we increment this too. That's kind of annoying. So it's this. It's whatever this is without the plus plus at the end. So we're going to grab this. Whole thing, please. Thank you. We're going to see if we can do it like this, where we say, instead of the plus plus, we just, wherever we're at in terms of the steps, has any. It looks like that was okay. You can do the same thing for the Y block. All right, we're in ads. I might go get some more water real quick. Be right back. All right, we're back. We're back and we're hydrated. All right, where are all these errors? Right here. Got your errors right here. So we got preview blocks. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna say preview block forms. So we'll grab the block forms and then we're gonna get the preview block rooms. So we're gonna get both here. I think we need them in every one of these. Room buffer. This needs to change. So we are getting that here. For some reason, we're only doing it way down here. That's probably because we didn't need it before. And now we do. Oh, wait, no, these are the room bounds. Right. Never mind. This is different. That's a different thing. If it has any and room bounds dot length is greater than 0. Shouldn't I just like... Oh no, because we do something else. Right, never mind. So this is going to be renamed to bounds. Looks like we need forms and rooms here. That's fine. Like I said, that's fine. Oh, I don't know how I accidentally keep engaging the search, but it seems to happen. Parameter list is so long, it needs to do that to it. Are we writing to all of these? What's happening here? I guess what I should do is I should set these to be read-only. Until shown otherwise. Oh, here's the rooms. I'm not sure which one I want to use for the AABB. I mean, I guess it's good that they both have access to it, because we're not always going to have both of them available, so it's like, it makes sense. But at the same time, so like this is definitely the forms, and as far as I can tell, actually we haven't needed the rooms at all yet. Rooms, yeah, okay. Oh, we needed it just for this part. Arneo, you can't believe it. Your suffering's over. You've aligned some turrets to track a target. All you need to do is give up on firing arcs over 180 degrees. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Figuring out how to work with angles was surprisingly frustrating. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm like not a trig guy. I'm like, to show me an angle and I will suffer. What you gonna call this, Forms? I don't totally understand what's happening here, but I think we're doing this okay. Blocks.getAbsolute.is empty. Yeah, I think that's a forms thing. And we don't use is empty anymore. We just use has any. Forms.getAbsolute. I'm doing this all the time. Maybe we should just do this once. Say block forms. Oh, we can also say, or a cursed rooms is a bit field. I don't think we want to say it's a bit field. I think we want to say it's a room. For each int room in cursed rooms. Oh, I need to make this enumerable. Enumerable for bitfield 64. So this is where I don't love what I'm about to do. I actually don't want to do it this way. I guess it's fine to turn this into a... No, I guess I do want to do this. Should I just implement it like this? I guess we don't know our length, huh? Can I not? Oh, it would be bitfield 64. It's fine, I guess. Violet, pardon the possibly foolish question, but what does the Blockrooms class do besides be a wrapper for Bitfield 64? That's all it does right now. And the only reason it exists is because I might actually need to replace Bit 64 with Bitfield 64 with like Bitfield 128. If 64 ends up not being enough. So at the moment, it's just providing me a little bit of coverage in case I need to swap that, which is why I'm not trying to just presume that I'm using Bitfield 64 everywhere. I'm having a hard time doing that. So yeah, it's really just, at the moment, just a wrapper. Yeah, it's like a layer of abstraction to cover me in case I change that implementation. Ideally, I would change it and I would, get the same behavior, because I'm a little worried that we might hit the number of 64 rooms pretty quickly. I actually need a system. I'm not sure how I want to handle that, because it's not trivial to use different bit fields. So like if any case ends up causing us to exhaust that number, I might just have to up everyone to be using the Bitfield 128. Like, I don't think there's going to be a way to kind of dynamically grow it. I'm just going to need to do some like stress testing or load testing of it to see like how likely we are to hit that limit. Problem is, a bad actor could easily hit that limit very quickly, in which case we might just need to actually put in a hard limit. So wait, what is this supposed to return? It's an IE numerable. So this is an IE numerable. Oh, this needs to be an IE numerable for an int. What am I doing? Yeah, that's right. Make no mistake, my architecture sucks. All right, there's the cursored room. So when are we using these cursored forms? Oh, anytime I do this, I should be substituted like that. Oh man, I barely use that at all. Use that twice. Should probably just define that down here then. It seems like I'm almost never going to use it. That seems fine. That seems like it's doing what we want it to do. All right, let's find the next set of blockers here. This. Forms, room. Oh, I just got to actually pass things in here correctly. Oh, you also need the cutaways. Were we not passing those in? Yeah, we are. We are passing those in. Oh, but they go first. So we need the bounds. Where are we getting the bounds from? Ah, this thing, room bounds. So it should say room bounds. Then the cutaways, which we're getting here. I might actually declare that here. Cutaway. Might just call them cutaways. Oh no, we declare them up here. Block cutaways. Do we need to distinguish that these are the preview block forms? Do we actually deal with settled block forms anywhere in the system? We aren't supposed to. That's kind of like the idea of this part of this refactor. So I might be able to rename that to be shorter. But for right now, let's be distinct. All right, what do we do here? What do we use in here? Use block forms. Okay, so these are cutaways. All right. Okay, no, is empty. So instead we use has any. All right. I think we're getting there. What's going on here? All right. Is that system actually working now? Let's go look at the next system. Yeah, so I got rid of the word settled. It's here. That's all we're dealing with here normally. Is that true down here, though? No, that should be true. That should be true. So yeah, I think I don't think these systems actually need to understand that concept of what's a preview block versus a settled block, really. All right, so what do we got going on here? Compartmentalize, bounds, buffer of block forms. Okay, none of these functions are going to work right. Reset compartments. This is a rooms thing, so this is actually rooms. So yeah, we don't have to do this stupid stuff anymore where we're like... In fact, is there a better way to do this? Is there like a rooms.span.clear? What does that do? Does that basically just do the same thing? Clear. That should work. That should work. These spans don't really contain references, I don't think. So in fact, this doesn't actually have to be a whole function. This could actually just be... Oh, but we only need to clear within the... No, we want to clear the whole thing, right? Let's get rid of that function for now. So instead of doing that, that's here. So instead of this, should we do that here? I just need to clear the buffer. I feel like I should not do that in the function. I feel like I should say something like block rooms dot clear. And here in calculate used bounds, we need, looking at the forms, it looks like. All right, that's good. Pass this in there, and then I think we pass in the same thing here, or maybe we passed this in actually. What do we want here? We want bounds, we want forms buffer. This function can go away. Exterior flood fill wants what information? Such dramatic music. Definitely appropriate for the kind of work we're doing here. All right, that seems to be okay. So that's the exterior flood fill. Compartmentalize, that's forms. Now what? And then there's like an interior flood fill here. And that, what we're interested in is rooms. Try get has, so we do use forms. So we need both. So we can have buffer 3D read write, read only, excuse me, block forms, rooms. All right, we're getting there. And here we're going to say rooms.set. We're just going to say, whoa, how is this even written? Buffer.set chords block with rooms equals block.rooms.set. What? Oh, we're adding this index. I see. Okay. That's a crazy way to write that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to say rooms dot span index equals rooms span index dot set. Don't have a set function. I guess you don't. It's the part where I'm like not getting much value out of my implicit conversion thing. Actually, it's not a void. It's public lock rooms set. It's not new value. What we actually want is... Actually, we need to double check what we want. Violet Noon, that's a cool IDE. You like how it does the arrows as their own combined glyph? Yeah, the ligatures are nice. I like this. This is JetBrains Rider. I enjoy working on it. It's very much like a C# IDE, but there's variations for different languages. JetBrains is all right. They're a pretty good alternative to, Microsoft if you don't want VS or VS Code. I like them. All right, so this is a non-exclusive set. Okay, and then this is just an exclusive set. Excuse me. So if I say room index, how does that work? Oh, Bitfield64 has a constructor. It just takes that. Okay. Actually, what I want here is I wanted just an index set. So it would just be value or index. Is that right? That doesn't make a ton of sense. Should I just say value dot set? Oh yeah, I already have that. We've only really used VS Code. You might get it. Yeah, it's a little expensive, but it's one of those things where it gets cheaper the longer you use it, which is pretty nice. I've been using it a long time. Like they have discounts that kick in as you continue to license it. So it's like it's hard to beat free, which like VS Code is like free, right? Shenanigans, you've been using Rider now that you've switched to doing C#. The debugging integration with Godot is a lot better than the VS Code plugin. Oh, nice. That's good to know. Yeah, the debugging is pretty good. It's pretty good here. Things you like and dislike about both. So giving it a good shot for now and generally happy with it. Well, that's good. That's good. Because again, it isn't free, I don't think. So it's got a bit of a lift here. All right, and then so what we're going to do here where are my constructors? I think we're going to want these. Well, I have this, so do I need... Oh, I kind of want this. Oh, does that just work? That doesn't seem like that should just work. We'll see. We'll see if that ends up just working. You're checking, and apparently, as long as you're not doing anything commercial, and it is in fact free. Oh, well, look at that. Look at that. I am theoretically doing something commercial, I guess. But yeah, okay. Free to try then. That's cool. Probably free to use, it sounds like, for personal stuff. Writer's free for non-commercial use. Janinigan says non-commercial still counts even if you're planning on selling your game, as long as you're not currently making money by selling it. Making money through streaming, etc. is fine. The moment you sell it for $1, though, you need a commercial license to legal. Keep using the editor to maintain your code. Hashtag you're not a lawyer. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I've had my writer license since I was doing Unity dev, so it's not crazy for me to do that. So how are we gonna do this? So do we say buffer.set? So I don't understand how this works. Editor index is new. Yeah, but that's an integer. I mean, I guess I need a constructor. Because that is a constructor. Am I struggling with this? It's kind of working already. Hashtag calling legal eagle. Diginigans, you're not a fan of paying subscription costs for software in general, and you like to avoid it where you can. It makes business sense, though. It makes business sense. Yeah, it's actually maybe my only real expense around Godot development. I essentially donate to the Godot Foundation the amount of money that I was paying Unity per month. I just set that up when I switched over, and I've never taken it off. So That is not like a that's a cost. It's a donation though, and then I pay for a writer. So it is kind of weird that I spend like, well, I guess that means most of most of the cost of using Godot for me is just the amount I'm willing to donate. All right. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to say rooms.set. I'm just going to try say room index. All right. I think that works. All right, I think that's fixed now too. Probably not calling it quite right. No, it looks fine. Set room bounds. Here we go. I think I want to call this rooms. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, I see. I see. So you get a room buffer comp thing, and then you also need lock rooms. Is that the fill system? Oh, interior flood fill. What's your problem? Forms, initial, room index, then rooms. Okay. Actually, do you write to that? I think you do. I think we just decided you did. So this is read write. Oh, one more issue popped up here. What's your problem? Oh, you also need the rooms. Is that... Okay, well, looks like one more set here. Game.systems. Okay, never mind. Alright, what we should do, which is like the most catastrophic thing, is to change the actual block thing here. Block forms, block rooms, block dot forms, block dot faces, block. So this, we need to get rid of all of this functionality. We don't want any of this. We actually want to get rid of this whole thing. Just delete it. And then here, this is going to become a public, read-only partial class, partial static class. Public partial. I always get confused about the ordering of this. I actually don't want this to be... Actually, I guess it doesn't need to be abstract if it's partial. I got it in the wrong order again, didn't I? Alright, so we don't need this, I don't think. Alright, now let's find the rest of the references that don't make sense anymore. Ship component? What the hell is this even? Actually, don't know if this is a thing we're going to use. I'm just going to get rid of that. Oops. All right. Get compartment hierarchy. Do I use this function anywhere? I don't, but I might in the future because I do like it. So what are we doing here? Is this only rooms? Looks like it's only rooms. Where is that? Oh, I see. I see why that's a problem. I'm going to put very little effort into fixing this function because we don't currently use it for anything. But it's pretty neat. So it's a way of building a hierarchy where we can see. All right. Rooms clear. Okay, you probably need a clear function then. Implicit operator is not doing as well as I had hoped it would be doing here. So yeah, how do I do that in the composition? Oh, you have your own all flags. Static. That's not great. Ship.cs was the hopes and dreams of a fragment of a thought. Yeah. Sometimes I'll start filling out scripts. They're like placeholders. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'll need this one day. And it's like, will you though? But will you? All right, so why can't I do this? It's because... So why does value.setIndex work, but value.clearRooms? Oh, because it's being passed. Does it need to be... Value is a... My implicit conversion thing should be helping me out more than it is, I feel like. Bitfield, log rooms.value. I don't want to have to do like a explicit conversion. Why won't that work? Cannot cast Bitfield 64 to block forms. That seems untrue. What's this then? Oh, wait. Why? Oh, I'm an idiot. Block forms. I'm so stupid. Block rooms. I'm a dummy. I do need to fix some of that stuff over here, though, probably. One more in here somewhere. Here we go. All right, that seems happy. Tool system is unhappy. Oh, because block.empty is not a thing. Oh, the stupid block active tool thing. All right, well, we're going to need to fix that. I think we might save that to next time. And by next time, I mean tomorrow. So we do need to fix this. And fixing this is probably going to lead to... Like, how many times do we reference the active block tool? A lot. Yeah. Okay, I think we're going to finish this refactor tomorrow. We're pretty close. We're pretty close. I'm sure pulling this thread will cause another thread to unravel. And that's something we can abide for now. Nobody asked me to showcase anything because it's all broken. All broken. Don't go no more. All right, I gotta get ready for work for part 2 of the second half of my workday, or for the third half of my workday. I gotta get ready. This was fun. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Shout out Tomato Salad for the raid. Shout out Tomate. It's a lot. Thanks for the raid earlier. I appreciate everyone hanging out, even though especially because I've been kind of inconsistent lately. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We got a game jam coming up in a couple weeks. We're gonna do the solo dev number 9 Halloween jam. That's gonna be fun. We'll talk about that more as we get closer. But yeah, Chow was fun derailing the stream about BG3. No, it's something I want to look more seriously about because it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Such an incredible game. And just an incredible piece of work. It's one of those things where it's like you want to be able to engage with it. So I'm having some issues doing that, and I think that mod you suggested would go a long way. Not feel like I'm having to control an entire D&D party in every fight. But yeah, this was awesome. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll keep on keeping on here. And then yeah, episode 256 on Friday, I think, right? Sanity check. What episode is this? 254. Yeah, we're almost there. So if I don't see you tomorrow, please check back in on Friday. It should be pretty fun. It's gonna be our last Power of 2 stream for probably another year or two. It's gonna be the last one for a while. It's gonna be crazy looking back on this project here, being like, wow, they spent all this time on like a block validation tool. They're still working on the editor at episode 256. That's what I'm gonna say when I'm at episode 512 and I've like solved world hunger. Thanks for the stream. You always get more done with this on in the background. That's great. That's great. I really appreciate hearing that. I love to hear that. Because yeah, we're just trying to help lift each other up, get done what we needed to get done. And yeah, hope you all ship it, whatever you need to ship. And we'll be back tomorrow for episode 255. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you next time.
Maximum warp.
Bye.
Maximum warp.